Hey, what it do, Sports World? Welcome to the Real Untouchable Podcast. With me, Ray Diggs. I got a great segment you all want to talk about. As you all know, a few days ago, I'm just not coming on now talking about my Kansas Jayhawks losing to the Gonzaga Bulldogs 89-68 in the second round of the college basketball tournament. Okay, and why I feel this right here was one of the worst jobs that Bill Self has ever done. Now, I'm not going to put solely blame on Bill Self because it was a lot of things that the Kansas Jayhawks did bad this season. Well, it was injuries and then it was scholarship situation. So this Kansas Jayhawk team right here may be one of the worst Kansas Jayhawk team that Bill Self has ever had. But I'm going to talk about what I feel, why I think that Bill Self is going to have to get down to how the old Bill Self did it. Get back to recruiting, get back to being tougher on the player. Okay. But listen, before I get started, hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also the share button. All right. And if you all got any feedback about this segment, you all just let me know and we can talk about it. But let's go ahead and jump into this thing. All right. So let's talk about why this right here was one of the worst Kansas Jayhawk teams. Okay. As you know, Kansas finished the season 23-11, getting blown out in the second round of the men's college basketball tournament by Gonzaga. Okay, it was 89-68, but it was a close game in the beginning. At halftime, it was basically a Kansas Jayhawk had a 1-point lead, but they come out here in the second half and they only scored 24 points, and then Gonzaga put up 46 points, and that's right there how we got here with a 21-point loss. Okay, now when we look back at this game, it's a lot of things that we can look back on. Now, Bill Self made a statement in the post game when he stated that the last 2 months that he has been thinking about next season. As a Kansas Jayhawks fan, that's not what I want to hear. As a fan, period, that's not what I want to hear my head coach say, that he's basically focusing on next season. But when Bill Self said that, it made me think about some things. Why was he thinking it? Kansas Jayhawks this season had 8 players that was on scholarship. If you all missed it, at the beginning of the season, Kansas was on probation from the Sosa situation. A lot of people don't know De Sosa. De Sosa was one of the highly recruited players that Kansas had a few years back. De Sosa ended up getting suspended. Y'all, maybe I'll upload a video in my next segment, and I'll show you all what De Sosa did. Pretty much picked up a chair and threw it at another. Well, he was getting ready to throw it at another player, and pretty much, that pretty much ruined his college career in that moment. And that is the reason why the Kansas Jayhawks lost the scholarship that they lost this season. Coming into this season, Kansas, KJ Adams was a good player. Like I said, Hunter Dickinson was their prize recruit. They went out and got him from Michigan. Did he live up to the expectation? He did live up to the expectation. A lot of Kansas Jayhawks fans would say that he was overpaid, in NIL. But I was sitting there telling one of my friends, I was like, listen, Hunter Dickinson played good. It just was the fact that he didn't have enough help. And then when you look back at McCullough, McCullough did not play in this game. He pretty much had a knee injury that's been bothering him. So he pretty much missed the Big 12 championship tournament, and he also missed the NCAA tournament. So he's been hobbled by that for most of the season. And then you have Nick Timberlake. Nick Timberlake was one of those 3-point sharpshooters that Kansas went out and brought him in. He didn't live up to expectations. Another player that I think did not live up to the expectation, I don't think DeJuan Harris. I do not think that he lived up to the expectations of being a Kansas Jayhawk point guard. So when we look back at the Devontae Smiths, the Frank Mason Jr., and those boys, Russell, so when we look back at Mario Chalmers, when we look back at some of the all-time great point guards that come to Kansas, you think of scoring point guards. You think of point guards that can do both, pass and, they just dogs, period. I don't think DeJuan Harris Jr. really took that step of being one of those type of players here for Kansas. And What about Furphy? Furphy bust onto the scene. Nobody expected him to be this good. But he came in and he played good, and then he hit a wall. He hit the wall. Next thing he was just a regular player. And I think he's been struggling for the last probably about 2 months, basically. A lot of people had him in the top 10 at one point of the NBA draft. Now, I don't even see him in a lot of mock boards, a lot of mock drafts. I don't even see him in the top 25 right now. But like I said, they might change when the NBA draft, when they go into the little scrimmages and things. So maybe that would change. Maybe he comes back to Kansas next year. I think he should come back to Kansas. Honestly, I feel like Kansas should bring back all of their players. Maybe McCullough is probably most likely gone. Dickerson should come back another season. KJ Adams, he's definitely coming back. Furphy should come back another season. DeJuan Harris should come back next season. And like I said, when you install McDowell, if McDowell stays, is Jackson really got to get better. Jackson has been a walking turnover, a walking bad play. He was basically, a walking turnover all season. He was a walking bad shot taker all season. When I talk about Jackson, a lot of people at the beginning of the season, I don't know if y'all remember at the beginning of the season, Jackson was a top 10, top 15 pick. A lot of people had him, and I'm like, man, but after I got a chance to watch him play a couple games, I was like, yeah, that's going to change quick because he's not ready for the NBA. And I think that, honestly, him and McDowell, if they both come back next season, both of them can be really, really good players, if not starters, on this Kansas Jayhawk team. Now, Kansas got they got a 5-star center coming in, that I think that he's going to find his way on the court. We got a nice little guard coming in. So Kansas, if they can hold attack with the rest of these players, maybe Hunter Dickinson, maybe Hunter Dickinson leave. But if he stays, this Kansas Jayhawk team could be at least 8 or 9 deep next season. And like I said, when you look at this Kansas Jayhawk team, it was affected this season by scholarship. A lot of these players on the bench, you can just tell, a lot of these players are basically just walk-on players. Okay? And like I said, Bill Self was talking about, he said it. Bill Self had been said he was thinking about next season for the last 2 months. The transfer portal. These players that's already committed to other schools. That's the one thing that I want to talk about, and that's why I keep telling people about the transfer portal. I just think the transfer portal is bad. The transfer portal opened up during the NCAA tournament. I heard people say that it was some players that was already committed to other schools while their team was in the NCAA tournament. And that's what I'm saying. That's why the transfer portal is so bad and the NIL is so bad for college basketball. And like I said, this Kansas Jayhawk team, depending on what they do in the offseason, if they can keep KJ Adams, he stays, which I think he will. Maybe DeJuan Harris, Furphy come back. If Hunter Dickinson decides to leave, it's good if he does. It's good if he don't. I think Kansas can replace him with the freshman center that they got coming in. So this Kansas Jayhawk team could be a powerhouse next season. At the beginning of the season, I mean, if we go back down the line, you got to think about it. At the beginning of the year, Kansas was beating top team. They beat Kentucky. They played against Marquette. Yeah, they did lose against Marquette, but they beat Tennessee. These are teams that's still playing in the tournament. Well, Kentucky's not, but Marquette is still playing. Tennessee's still playing. UConn, the defending champs, Kansas beat them by 4 points. So these are teams that's still playing right now. They went down to Houston earlier this year, beat the brakes off of them. They beat Baylor. Baylor's still playing. Houston's still playing. So it's not like they lost against some Rudy Poop teams. They lost against really, really good teams that's still playing right now. So this team right here started off as a top 10 team, top 5 team. But they fell over the last 3 months. They pretty much injuries, and it was just inconsistent. I think that it was injuries and the lack of depth is what really got this Kansas Jayhawk team. And in the end, you can never, overcome when it comes down to those who think injuries and lack of depth. That pretty much done it. Hunter Dickinson went down. Then you have McCullough. He been basically battling a knee injury all season. So that's right there really what happened to this Kansas Jayhawk team. But y'all tell me what y'all think, man. What's gonna happen? And also another thing is Bill Self really is he still motivated to be the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks? If he's still motivated to win national championship, because Bill Self has won 2 national championships at Kansas. He's sent a lot of players to the NBA. So is he still motivated like he was? And also Bill Self is a Hall of Famer. He's already inducted into the Hall of Fame. So is he still got the same motivation, that he had before he was a Hall of Famer, before he won the 2nd national championship? We don't know. So those are things that I'm thinking, okay, is this right here what Bill Self wants? Is this right here what Bill Self, is this what Bill Self feel like, he wants to be? Is this a comfortable place for him? Because if it is, he'll just go out, and put a really good team out there on the floor and really don't care about winning national championship. But if he really, care about still winning national championship, Bill Self is going to have to recruit better. He's going to have to get in the transfer portals and bring in some of those players from the transfer portal and put this blue blood Kansas Jayhawk team back on the map, which I think he will do. I think that this team right here, with everything that they got coming back, depending on Furphy, depending on Hunter Dickinson, this team right here could be easily, with the recruits that they got coming in and the starters that they got coming back, they could easily be a top 3 team heading into next season. But like I said, as I said before, the number 4 Kansas Jayhawks loses to number 5 Gonzaga Bulldogs 89-68 in the 2nd round, and their season is over with. And hey, until next time, hey, make sure you all have a great week. And like I said, give me your feedback on what you all think about this Kansas Jayhawk team and why you are so disappointed in this Jayhawk team like I am. But hey, until next time, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button, and give me your feedback on what you all think about this segment. Hey, y'all have a great week.